Hello, everyone. Todd Smatala here with the APFA technology team. In our continued efforts to bring more transparency to you, we're launching a new tool today that will help you research coverage needed days. Let's have a look. Okay, a general orientation first. We have a few filters that you can use here. You can filter by employee number, by seniority, by base, and by date. We also have a couple of reset buttons. We have the actual reset button right there, and then we have this button month, which would reset the particular month that you're looking at. Now I'll explain all of that a little bit more in some examples. These four up at the top here are really the only spots where you're going to be inputting information. When you first arrive at this page, you're going to be looking at data from 2020 on up until the present. So these numbers aren't going to make a lot of sense. There's just too much going on here until you start using some of the filters. So I'm going to walk you through three separate case scenarios of how you might want to be using this and use the different filters to do your research on CN days. So for the first case, let's say that it's time to start bidding for November of 2023, and we want to look at what November 2022 looked like in terms of CN days in Charlotte. So let's select the date. We're going to click over here on the date column, and we're looking at 2022. There's an extra drop down here, and I can go to the specific month that I'm looking for. We're looking at November. Click that. You see everything disappeared here because this is going to default to whatever month we're at right now. This is October 2023. Okay, so for me to see what's going on in November, I'm going to have to flip back to that month to see what the CN days are looking like. Okay, here we go. And then I also, right now it's showing all of the CN days for every base. So I really want to look at just Charlotte to see what's going on. Then I can click outside of this box to make it go away, drop down at least, and here we go. So now that we've added in some filters, you can see that this dashboard is making a little bit more sense, right? We've got a calendar here with some days. It's clear that there's some days that are reserve coverage needed days, some that are line holder coverage needed days. This seems to make sense. This is, the holiday over here, so we've got, line holder and reserve here, but we've got some surprising ones here too. These line holder coverage needed days on the 12th and 13th. Over on this side, this is another view of the coverage needed days. All right. It's showing us the highest seniority for each of those dates. So we see the highest seniority for the month of November was on the 1st. It hit seniority 10,220. Okay. Further down, on the other days, it's much more junior, right, on most of it. So we can look over here. This one's kind of a medium one, too, on the 4th. It went pretty senior as well. This gives you kind of an idea. And then these are the details if you wanted to scroll down and see exactly, which employee was having this one at that seniority. You can sort through by seniority. If you click on these, you can sort by employee number on the date, whatever you need to here. And sort by status, reserve versus line holder. Right now we're looking at everything all together. Up at the top, we have two options. Maybe I just want to look at line holders. Maybe I just want to look at reserves. Over here, this is the total number of employees that have been affected by coverage needed days in this period at that base. So for November in Charlotte, 857 employees were affected by coverage needed days. They may have had just one, they may have had several, but 857 were affected. Okay, so maybe you're just really concerned about the seniority on a particular date, and this is not so easy to look at in that sense, right? This is kind of a linear graph here with the dates going here. That might not be the way that you think visually. Over here, we have a calendar. You can just click on one of these. So maybe I want to see what was the highest seniority for a reserve on the 25th of November. You just click there, and it's going to tell you right up here. It was 22,559 for the year 2022 in November. And then for a line holder, you can click on that one, and it was 19,001. And you can kind of keep flipping around over here. You see this graph over here changed slightly too. It's only showing the particular one that we were looking at. So if you want to go back to see the overview, you can just click on month. It will reset the calendar for us. And we have everything there again. You can click another one. Maybe you want to check this line holder seniority on the 13th. Let's see what that is now. Right. So I'm also going to show you how to use this to look up your own personal CN-Day history by your employee ID number, as well as a way of looking at a range of seniorities across the system to see what the CN-Days are looking at. So have a look at those videos as well.